Anybody took those buys on gold yesterday or took the sell scalps on equities? I think that was pretty much that was pretty much the only opportunity. Then consolidated. Like hopefully, let me see what today we have. Durable goods. It's at 10. Yeah, so today is very light. Nothing like no major economic data for today. Took the go buys. Yeah, good job. EU sales. Yeah, I think that was good. Yeah, really good job with that. Yeah, especially with the German markets. So pretty good. Still holding buys? Yeah, man. Hell yeah, Carlos. Yeah, I think it's a really good week. I think this is going to be a good week. The tone so far, just show you guys here. I can read it with you guys. Yeah, so the daily debrief for the VIP. So we could just see so far, right? Risk off market. I think that's going to be pretty much the catalyst moving forward with the headlines that we got so far when it came from Trump's comments. Like he said a lot of comments about tariffs around 7 a.m. So usually if this was like if he said these comments during the middle of New York session, we would have saw some reactions. But let's see what happens at NYSE Open. I think this should give us more of a risk off market. So he signaled he could replace tariffs with import licenses fees to charge foreign goods entering the U.S. Even if just talk right now, markets hate this because it adds policy uncertainty. What's the next trade rule? How soon? Who would get hit? The uncertainty can quickly turn into a risk off because it adds the odds off, right? So we see that the trade tensions and retaliations are escalating. Supply chain plus cost pressures. This is also inflationary, right? Corporation margin risk is going to be impacted and more volatility into inflation and Fed expectations. So like we were still trying to figure out like what's next, like what is the retaliations going to be like from other countries as well. But I can't see like at market open, we're like I can't see at market open. We just see a risk on market. I think this would cause a lot of uncertainty. So I would want to see a risk off market until proven otherwise, right? So into New York session, let's see if the VIX could stay above 20, right? If we could see the VIX is pushing higher, give us more confluence, right? That we could see S&P and Nasdaq pushing lower, right? Hopefully US 30 as well. We're gonna watch out gold for bullish triggers. Like if gold could start breaking above this high, right around 51.70, right, that would be a good idea for more continuations to the upside. Obviously, along with like if we could get weaker yields, weaker dollar, but dollar could rise as a safe haven, So just be cautious of gold when it comes to that. All right. So like when it comes to Nasdaq and US 30, I want to see this area. Let me get my EpiPen. For you guys trading equities, right? I want to see if VIX pushing higher, that we could get US 30 and Nasdaq breaking below these areas of support would give us a catalyst right to the downside. But just be aware that it is a possibility. Like for the first hour, we could probably see mixed price action, or we could see price pushing higher, trying to trap buyers, and then start seeing sell offs. Right, we could see price pushing higher to trap buyers, and then we could see a sell off. So that's a possibility as well. All right, but when we're paying attention to this, wait for those key areas. But we must see safe havens gaining strength. So when you guys go get the currency monitor, right, we want to see that the yen and the Swiss currency pushing higher. We want to see AUD, NZD, and CAD getting lower, as we could just identify that risk off market, that uncertainty and that fear. If we could get that, that's clear, right? That'll be clear. If you guys don't have that, just go to copy charts, go to the welcome, go to copy charts, and in the bottom right here, it shows like which chart these are, right? Just so that you could just click it, but you have to get the premium version. All right, guys. So go back to here. So I would say that that's what we will look for the remainder of the day, is to see what happens with tension headlines. Let's see if we could get a risk off market and we could capitalize on those continuations. All right, guys. So that's what's going to be key. All right, guys. So if you guys are still holding trades, like good, I would expect these directions to hold. It's a possibility, though, right? I want to see the German markets take a hit too. If we could see like the German 30 and the Euro 50 pushing lower, that's also another indicator that the tariffs is impacting Europe. It's also impacting China. So China is definitely will take a huge blow if this continues, right, to impact these currencies. So just focus on that. All right, guys. I definitely focus on that. And we should be able to capitalize on some opportunities. The thing is, it may take time. It may give fake outs first, right? It may give like breaks of structure first in the opposite direction. And ideally, let's just wait for that. Wait for like these opportunities that people just gonna get caught. Stop hunts is gonna hit these people, hit traders stop losses. Then once all of that clears, then we should actually see the direction, right? So that's why I want to take advantage of for today. And let's see how that could actually be the play moving forward, right? So like the only way I could see if sales do play out for gold, this is a 30-minute support, right? So if we do break below this area of support, I still like the idea of buys, but I only like the idea and having confidence in gold sales is if we get like just de-escalations, like if we get especially tariff de-escalations, that's the only way, right? If we get de-escalations with Iran, China, tariffs, like stuff like that, most likely tariffs in China. If we see positivity with those two, like tariffs and Iran, right? That's the only way I could be like confident in gold sales. But even if gold does pushes lower, it's just to me, it's like we just look for the 5 minute, wait for an order block, break a resistance, take advantage of that buy. So I would rather look for that than to try to capitalize on sales unless you just want to take scalps. Okay. But what we need right now is the entire markets to just show us that risk off is going to be the catalyst for today. Okay. If not, like we could see range bound markets, we could see price action being choppy in both directions. We could see that, right? So it's just a possibility for that as well. So just be aware. And like if we do get bullish equities today and you want to take advantage of these buys, right? Just a reminder, like if you take like NASDAQ, breaking above this 30-minute resistance, right? And you want to take advantage of this buy scalp, I would say just look at it from a scalp perspective because you just don't want to be up a substantial amount of pips, right? And then you're not taking profit and then you get caught in a pullback. So just be cautious of that. And I can't really see how this could be risk on, right? I can't really see it. Well, yesterday we had a lot of risk off momentum. So I can't really see how today we could, we don't see a risk off market New York session. Like I can't really see it. But obviously anything could happen. We just have to react to the markets, right? We could give our predictions, but we have to react to what the markets do. Usually if it just doesn't make sense, then that's where you just be patient because it just doesn't make sense. But if the reactions do make sense, that's where you can have a little more confidence in taking and executing on that trade. All right, guys. So just remember that, focus on that. Yeah, like when it comes to GJ, right? So ideally I want to see GJ like hitting around this area right here. And then if we could get stronger yen, this could be a nice retest to see if we get a push lower, or if we see that the yen starts breaking below the support of 108.800, and then we could tag that resistance. When it comes to the dollar, I feel like this tariff situation kind of messed everything up, especially from like a monetary policy perspective, because now dollar could react to it could literally react to it could react as a safe haven, right? And monetary policy. So I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to get a stronger dollar, right? If we do get a stronger dollar, most likely we're going to break above 98.0, right? Probably head to 99 next or 100. If we do see that, right? Most likely EU sales would be the best bet. If we get stronger dollar today, I would like to look into EU sales. I think that would probably be the better opportunity for today. All right, guys. So any questions? Just put a one on the chat if all of that makes sense. You know what you're looking for. You know what to prep for. You got the areas of interest marked out for the session for the remainder of the day. And it's okay if you choose not to take trades if because this is more about news headlines and technicals, right? So if you don't have an edge, right, you don't have to take advantage of something, right? You could just sit on your hands and wait until something clear comes for an opportunity, right? So there's no right or wrong answer. But just a reminder, like today is more about technicals, waiting for breaks of structure and capitalizing on it, right? If it plays out or not. But use proper risk management. Know that the markets ain't going nowhere, and just use proper risk management. And just update you guys with the Zenith Inner Circle. So I got a lot of good feedback with this one, right? So if you guys missed it, right, you just go to announcements and you can read through it. So now the VIP is now official. So if you guys sign up, right, because just you guys in a private group, yeah, always you'll get godfathered in at 197, and pretty much like what we do here is you're gonna get the VIP updates, trade breakdowns, right, weekly institution style briefings, right? Just so that you guys could capitalize on an edge. And then you could just see how it's more about keeping accountability. So, like every week, we're going to come Wednesday every week and we're going to have like we're gonna have like real group meetings. Like so you gotta have to break out of your shell, right? When it comes to going over your trading plan, risk management, psychology. We don't have to do personal, right? But we also have the personal development here as well. So I just want to bring the like what I do mostly with the one-on-ones, but more into the group. So you guys can it's not hard on you financially. So you could get this aspect, start making money, start profiting, and then when you guys actually have a routine, you know exactly what to do every single day. You know what to follow every week. Every week you're gonna have a actual plan to execute. So this is what we're gonna start doing here for the VIP section. All right. So if you guys are interested, just you can go to announcements, and the link should be here at the bottom. When you sign up, just let me know. All right, so that I could open this up so you'd be able to have access to this. All right. And most likely, once I get to like 30-ish members, then I would take out the 197. Then it's going to go up to 250 for that. And remember, it's just about investing in your education, right? Investing in yourself. And 250 shouldn't really be nothing for us if we're trading the way that we should be trading. Like you should be very successful by the end of the month. I wouldn't doubt it. You should be very successful by the end of a month. 30 days is a long time. But if you guys are interested in that, yeah, just sign up. Okay, guys. And now you're just waiting. So we got an hour. See where that leads. Wait until like 9:30 to see what reactions we get. I believe that at 9:30, we possibly could see gold react first, right? So just be aware of that. And so yeah, so we could possibly see like stop hunts get hit. Like usually what happened last week, right? So this is a difference because I could already remember it, but this is where journaling comes in place. What happens with equities from 9 to about 10:30, right? Around about from like 9 to about 10:30 or 11. We typically see it either consolidate in both directions or we see it push higher, trap people to thinking that the buys is going to happen. Then later on the day, we see it kind of recover, right? And see it pushes lower. So that first hour of NYSE open, just be cautious, right? But the fact that these new headlines is very fresh, it is a possibility we could see it break support, but I would say it's okay to wait for the opposite direction to go first. And then once it proves that NASDAQ is not trying to break out higher, or US 30 trying to break out higher and pushes lower, then that's your opportunity. Because usually, once we take that break of support, you got to be aware of it pushing lower and then recovering, then pushing up and then dropping later on, right? So it happens to a lot of us that sometimes we can get it too early. And then usually, if you're not using proper risk management, right, it will blow your account or you will take a big L. And then 3, 4 hours later, it actually goes in your direction and then it actually goes longer in your direction, right? So just be aware of that possibility. It might be a lot of volume. And again, I could be wrong. And at New York Open, we could see equities push higher, right? But I personally think because of the uncertainty around the tariffs is what's going to possibly. I would love to see reactions that we saw last year, where it was like January, February, March, we saw a complete risk off market those whole 3 months, right? And then in April, that's when equities started hitting all time highs. If we could get that same format, this year's be so effing easy. You know what I'm saying? It would be so effing easy if we could get that. Because remember last year when tariffs first started, so nobody really knew how to capitalize on that. And what is the coincidence that the beginning of the year, that's when the tariff uncertainty hit. And then now the same shit is happening again this year where we have tariff uncertainty again, right? So yeah, so I don't think it's a coincidence. You know what I'm saying? That at the same time in both years we have the same bullshit. I don't think it's no coincidence. So I'm just hoping that we get the same opportunities, the same reactions. I'm just hoping that, if we could capitalize on just a risk off market for like the next 2 months, well, probably all in March, if this uncertainty creeps up, I just wouldn't be surprised, and then that would be great. Equity sells, gold buys, right? We'll see probably dollar push higher. And then probably in April, whenever we see that they figure it out, because Trump is supposed to meet with the Chinese president. I believe he's supposed to meet with him in March, if I'm not next month, if I'm not mistaken. And we got to see how that goes. But even that uncertainty, right, could even that uncertainty, like if they don't have a meeting, we know that's market fear, right? If they do have a meeting, it depends on how it goes because it could still go either way. But as long as that they're still willing to talk, like markets could still take that as a positive. You know what I'm saying? So even if Iran right now is still building nuclear facilities, but the fact that they're still willing to conversate, and even if military action is like happening, the U.S. boats is like coming in towards the Middle East, as long as they're still open to dialect, like that should still like cause a little bit of optimism. But the moment they shut down talks, that's when we have to worry. Okay, that's when we have to worry. So just to give you guys context behind it, does that make sense, guys? As of right now, we got the yen gaining strength. Equity's not doing nothing. We got like an hour. All right, guys. But you guys are good, right? You guys know what y'all looking for. Y'all know what to pay attention. If you trade in equities, right? Focus on the VIX. Just remember what I said. Like you have the whole purpose of what we do as investors is just trying to stack probabilities on our side. Like that's just the whole game. Is stacking the probabilities on our side. We have a possible direction, right? Because of certain news that came out. So now NY session, this is where the New York Stock Exchange opens. This is where money starts flowing into the markets. So we should start getting volatility. So we just want to stack the highest probabilities on our side so that volume could go in our side. All right. So that's what we're going to be like trying to prep for. So hopefully we could, hopefully, like and again, like understanding that anything could happen. We could easily just see that the markets could just do the opposite, right? Obviously, we could just see that equities just push higher for the day. But if that happens, we'll figure out why. Like we'll definitely understand why. So we don't have to worry about that. But just put a one if you guys are good. How do you plan to remain independent from the private group and especially when you guarantee to do regulars? Yeah, well, what I'm gonna do with the private group, it's just more personal, one on one, like more personal, like interactions, just on development. So it's not like if you hit me up, I'm like, fuck off. But like people know, like you guys know, like when you can tell the difference between somebody that really wants to improve in their life compared to somebody else. Y'all know me. Like money is not an issue. Like if you show effort, like I'll be on the phone with you forever. But I know the difference, and it's like separation. But that's all that it is. It's usually just on Wednesdays that we come together as a meeting. And like I said, like there's people that do one-on-ones that like they just sometimes people don't take their education seriously, but there's a lot of people that really do, and I know that doing stuff like this is what separates people. Like this is what separates. So somebody will see this like Victor, like right away. Y'all know how Victor is. Yeah, y'all see what Victor does. Y'all know he does constant withdrawals. He's on vacation. He does really well when it comes to trading. He sees something like this, he invests in it right away. So you know what? Because he sees the value, right? So there's people that wants that separation. So I'm offering that to the people that wants it. Like they want to be a part of like a bunch of other people just like them, so it's just high tier stuff. Like Carlos, for example, would know, like, oh, if I'm trying to put myself in another level, I would have to invest in myself in that next level. So it's like when an opportunity comes, he would just jump on that shit. Like if it comes to networking, I can meet other realtors out there. I'm probably going to have to learn how to swing a golf club, and I will have to pay for that membership, right? So if you offer that to those type of people, they're going to want to jump all over it. You know, others don't look at it from that perspective. So I have to offer that type of separation. Like when I have the one-on-ones, there's people that jumped on it immediately because if you know the value of it, because you're like right away you could say, damn, if I could actually consume this fucking information and just ask this, he is offering his time. If I could just ask this guy every fucking question that I have, he could answer it, and then I have the wisdom now to just apply it. I could change my life in a week, right? So just imagine if like Ray Dario had that type of opportunity. Would you invest in it? Would you think it would actually change your life? If you feel like it would, jump on it. But if you feel like that, nah, well, this is already good enough, then do it. But most people, scarcity comes in because some people can't afford it, So yeah, like you have to invest in your skill set. And I understand like some people is a financial barrier. So like most people would have scarcity just because they can't afford it, right? They understand the value, but they just can't afford it. But some people will figure it the fuck out, right? So I just have to offer that to them. This is why I said I can't like open the doors for free. Like imagine if I did a 7-day trial. Like look at all you guys here, like just soaking in information. Y'all don't have to ask a lot of questions. You already know how to prep. You already know what to do. Now imagine if I open the doors to a bunch of other people that don't have your type of patience and dependency. Like imagine how the group would be, right? About a bunch of people that is not profitable. They're just showing trade ideas of shit, and they're not even successful, right? Like they would just be doing all this type of shit. A bunch of people, it would ruin the whole group. Yeah, so like that's the separator. So what Carlos, when you invest in your skill set, you earn potential and impact naturally expands. Leveling up starts internally. The more you grow, the more you're capable of building. Like exactly. So you see, my goal is just to get you guys aware. Like I can't push the button for you, but my goal is to get you aware that there's always a next level for you. So if I open up that door for that, like there's two different people. There's another person that's just like, fuck, I gotta pay for this shit. And then there's another person that's like, yo, I'm gonna jump on that shit right away because now I could expand my skill set. I could actually take advantage of that timing, you know? Like I've been through it all, like for like the past 10 years, especially in this industry. Like everybody, like when I had it for $70, nobody took it serious. There's probably like three or four people that took it seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when you invest in yourself, you kind of force yourself to say, you know what? Like, fuck this. You like, I'm gonna actually bust my ass and try it. Like, there's people here where I'll be like, hey, journal. People still don't fucking journal. And they're realizing why they can't even get to that next level, right? It's just because you're just abandoning that one point of journaling. There's people here that don't join any of the personal development calls. They just want to join the live calls and not realizing you're the same fucking person you was 5 years ago because you're not helping your mentality. Your mentality is not growing. You're the same fucking person, but thinking money is going to change your personality. Money is going to change who you are as a person. And it doesn't happen that way. You got to build yourself first. And through the process of that, you're going to start seeing doors open. Your mind is going to start expanding. Then eventually, you're going to be seeing opportunities differently. Eventually, you're going to start taking profit more. You're breaking even. You're making better choices in the markets because you're opening your mind, right? But most people skip personal development and just go straight to, oh, I just want to make more money. And then realize you ain't going nowhere. Like I'm telling you guys from a like personal experience. Like I used to make literally from 30,000 a year at a job. I was also making $50,000 a year. I made around $250,000 in like 6 fucking months, like the most money I ever made in my life. And I just spent it and blew it all because I was the same person that I was back in Brooklyn. So when I look back at my earnings, I was like, damn, I was withdrawing so much. Like I was just out there withdrawing so much money. Like I was just like, man, I was spending 10,000, $20,000 months. And I just didn't see, I just wasn't capable of understanding like how to manage money. I had to build my mindset. I had to change my environment. So this is what I'm trying to offer you guys, right? It's about mindset. This group has everything. It has everything in there. There is no reason that you are not succeeding unless you're choosing not to. It's a choice. Like you have personal development, you have community. Like Keegan is out there helping people that ask. We got Carlos in here is helping you with your fitness. Like we got everything that you need in here. Like even bring you closer to God. The only way you're gonna fail is if you don't read. You just don't even fucking try. That is the only way if you're not trying. Like you have to intentionally not try. So it's not me, because you have everything here, like sent like all the videos that is here to help your development. You even got a finance section where I'm helping you guys understand budgeting. Like if you just did this, like right here, if you just did this, your life would be different in a month. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's no excuse, no excuse. Give me a sec, guys. But yeah, I'm gonna stop it. I hope that helps though, guys. 914941. Yeah, we waited until NYSC. But yeah, guys, like I hope it helps, because like I said, it's 40 of you here. And the odds are maybe two or three of you would change your life. Like those are just the odds. So it's not information, like it's not lack of information. It's not lack of money. It's not any of that. Like the problem is you just don't take it seriously enough. That's just the difference. It's like it could be you could say this message, like it don't matter who's in the room. Like Warren Buffett could be there in front of hundreds of people and tell you exactly what he did, right? And Ray Dalio, all the greats in one room, just breaking down everything that they did to become successful. And maybe two people in that room would change their lives. Like those are the odds. And that's just scared the shit out of you because then it shows it's like it's you. It don't have to do with your background. It don't have to do with what your mama did to you or your dad did to you. It don't have to do with your color, your skin. Like you all have the same opportunities. It's just a mindset shift. But if like you're in the finance game, if you don't know how to, if you don't understand money, right? If you don't understand how finances work, how to put your money right, like if I like example, if I give you $1 million right now and I put that shit in your trading account, Could you flip it? Could you actually do something with it? Or you'll blow it the same way you blow your $1,000 account. So that just shows that money is not the problem, it's a mindset. And I think once you get aware of that shit, like you'll start taking it a lot more seriously. And that's what I had to that's what I experienced it. So that's what scared the hell out of me and woke me up because I actually experienced it. So that's why I was like, damn, like money is not a problem. It's my mindset, because I'm making money, but I'm still acting like a dude from the projects. I was still spending like a person that had a 9 to 5 job. And I was like, damn, like this shit is crazy. This shit is real. And nobody taught me. So I'm not learning in college. I'm not learning in school. I'm not learning any of that. Like it's very simple math, that you do with your bank account, right? How you put what you do with your spending, what you do with your bills. You put your money on a side in a high yield investing account. People don't even do that shit, you know? Like literally you could get your bills paid by the bank every month if you put over like 50 to $100,000 in it. Like you could get Capital One up, it's like around 4%. Like people, we don't know that shit, and I didn't. So that's how I'm able to tell you guys and give you guys from experience. It's not guessing. And I know what works for you guys too. That's why I offer these things. Because if I really didn't fucking care, I would just be giving you guys signals and showing off a lifestyle. Yeah, James, I'm not gonna lie. After my one-on-ones, it helped me with my confidence in taking trades and learn to take trades with reasons. Yeah, like because that's the goal. That's what I learned too. Like if I could just help you guys think, but we come from an educational system where they just don't education don't want you to think for yourself. So if I could just say like, oh, we had an area of interest, now make a decision. Like the part of your brain is like, fuck, man, could you tell me just to take profit? But when you learn to think, where it's like, okay, after this, you know everything you're supposed to do. Now make a decision. Most of the time the decision is just not there because you're busy, and that's okay. But always understand what's going on. You have to always understand that. But I hope that helps you guys.
Conditions in New York City, transit has been suspended. People are prohibited from traveling unless they
Yeah,
absolutely
New
have
York
to.
is like free. Oh, that's so crazy. Yeah, we're just waiting, guys, for NYSC, see what happens. Yeah, yeah. So it's Argent. Yeah, yeah. So when you sign up, I'm gonna see it and I'm gonna cancel the other subscription for you. And if you're already a VIP, like you still got the link for that as well. So if you need to go back down, you just sign back down to if you're OG'd in for the membership. But I would cancel it for you on my side. So when you sign up, I'll cancel it on my end, so you don't have to worry. And I refund you guys too. So yeah, just like let me know. Yeah, like people like when it comes to this, like people was like extremely fucked up. Like there was somebody that was in a group and like you in control of your membership, but I don't know if the person shows up to the calls or not. But they could like they made a dispute like for like 3 months of like 3 to 4 months of their membership saying that they just wasn't in the group. And I'm like, yo, like people are just so fucked up, dude. Like like that's just like the business side of it. Like you gotta deal with that shit. I was like, damn, man, I gotta deal with this type of bullshit. Like and I'm like, yeah, but I had to learn, like how to actually get in. Yeah, it was a female too. But and the crazy part is like she was making hella money on gold, like making hella money. And I'm like, damn, that's kind of like tacky, bro. Like, and like, I believe he was from like California as well. So I'm like, bro, like, I know you, like, this shouldn't be a problem to you, but like, I understand, like, people go through hard times. Everybody go through shit. But I was like, damn, this shit is crazy. Yeah. Yeah, it's not like it's just like it's not personal, but it's like I learned to change how I had to change my mentality because like part of me was like, man, like f you. Like I was just like, I already have it in the privacy and the subscription where it shows it's like it's no refunds. But I'm like, you know what? Like after this, I'm like, I don't want anything. I don't want any like anything to bite me in the ass. I don't want any of that. So it's just like I trust God. So I'm like, you know what? There you go. You just taking money back. Go right ahead. I still help you if you ask for help. But I was like, people are weird, man. Like people do some weird stuff. Like I try my best to like better all you guys' mindset first. So it's like that weird shit is just behind you. But yeah, like I had to trust in the Lord, man. Like he helps with all these situations. Every time you get that Holy Spirit, that little nudge, just make sure you follow it and don't act from a place of greed. You know, always love your neighbor. Like even if like you get the shit end of the stick, and not everybody will understand. You know, like but it's your journey. That's why, like, even in Bible study, I tell you guys, you know, like read the word for yourself, because when you just constantly listening to other people's sermons, like you're like listening to what their Holy Spirit is telling them throughout their life expansion, like throughout their life, right? But we all have different goals. Yeah, Nico, I got you. So if you're, I'm gonna cancel your other subscription. Yeah, because we all go through like your journey in life. God is probably using you in other ways. Like I had to understand this, right? Like one of the things too, don't judge people in their work in their walk with God, right? Because yeah, y'all probably know like is this like videos going out of like these OnlyFan models that are turning into God. And I know all of you here think that's just a crack of shit, right? But could somebody like me get one of those girls to change their life to go to God, or another one of them could do it, right? So it's like you can't really judge somebody with their walk, right? Somebody that's in prison. Because somebody like me just go to prison and talk to a bunch of people doing life about turning their lives to God. I can't do that, right? Because somebody like me that is a trader, a father, you know, full-time trader, that's what I do to a living, convince traders, say, hey, you need to start walking with God. Like I think I could do that, right? So you whatever you do, you're a construction, right? Or you a cook, you a chef, like just put God first in it. You know what I'm saying? Because most people don't read the word. Like most people don't. And the only way they could ever see God or build relationship with God is probably through you. So this is why you have to do right in private. Like a lot of us are all wicked in private. Outside, we probably do, and I'm a victim to it too, right? Private, we do sinful shit, but we try to look good out in private, out to the public. Like you have to work on your personal life in private. You have to work on it. And what we did yet on Saturday, it's going to be hard, right? It's going to be hard. Like it's going to be hard to say no. It's going to be hard, and accept that hardness because we already know what our life looked like when we just do what the hell we want, because where you are today is the outcome. And I always knew when I always do bad stuff and do dumb stuff, I always see the outcome of what stupid does. We just never did the right thing longer to actually see the outcome of doing the right thing. And the same thing goes to trading. Like most of y'all have y'all schedule, y'all have y'all routine, y'all have y'all checklist, y'all know exactly what to look forward to, you know exactly what to do every single day. The only problem that you're facing right now is that you're just not doing it longer than when you was failing. That is the only thing. So when you could do that longer, you would actually see the result, right? You just have to do it longer. And that's where faith comes in. That's when endurance comes in. That's when obedience comes in. Yeah. Obedience is everything. I didn't know that. Now I know. Yeah, obedience is king. Like it's the main thing, you know. And like you would get a sense of peace, and you would have a sense of rest. You know, you would learn to like. There was another guy I did one on ones with, and I was just like, I was always telling him too. I was just like, dude. Like you're overly stressing, like you're just all over the place. Like you're overly stressing, you're thinking that you're supposed to control everything. Like you got to make this now, I got to do this now. I was like, damn, like you're trying to control every outcome. I'm like, you just got to chill and just like if an opportunity comes, it comes. If it don't, it don't. I used to always say that shit and it never worked, right? So it turned more into a therapy session, and that's fine. But then he was like, yo, like it actually starting to click now. I was like, okay, what changed? I just stopped stressing and I just became more patient. I'm like, there you go. Like, and it works, like when you stop stressing, when you just like try not to have full control. We can't control the outcome, and that's very hard to surrender. Surrendering was like extremely hard, and it still is hard to me to surrender. So I know it's hard for you guys too, like just to not try to control every single outcome and not think that your works is what matters the most. Like I can't control the outcome. I could just hope that I could guide you guys, give you the right information, but I can't control you guys actually following it to a T. I just have to pray that, okay, hopefully you guys could actually benefit from the outcome. You know what I mean? Like it's like an example. Like if I make a video, I can't control the fact of how many people watch it and how many people could gain wisdom from it. I can't control that. But I'm trying so hard to create content where it's like, oh, if I say this, this person is going to like this. If I say this person is going to like it. So that's just me trying to take full control of something. And that's not surrender. And I've been doing that my whole life, like trying to control outcomes. And I just finally started to just go like, all right, let me just not care, not care in that sense, but just let it be and let him just take control of the wheel. And I've been at peace. I've been really at peace. But doing that, it's like my family got better, my marriage is better, my relationship with my kids is better. I'm able to think more clearly. I'm less stressed, and then things just doors just start opening. You know what I'm saying? And there'd be times like, yeah, like I can't. There's times where like I used to always tell myself I can't hear God. Like I used to always think that shit. But that was because I don't read the word. So read the word, guys. Just read. Like if I could just recommend that, just read. I tried to book the VIP pass and the price went from 97. It should still be 197. Yeah, if it shows 250, then don't pay for it. It could be because of your no, that wouldn't be your taxes. That's crazy. If you got to pay like $60 in taxes. It says tax. All right, so I have to uh yeah, damn. Try to put that as the promo. Yeah, yeah, oil spike. If oil is spiking, that's more like oh, yeah, it's been pushing higher. That's more of an Iran situation when it comes to oil. Uh, yeah, Leo, definitely got you. Yeah, like I probably want to. I like WAP because I don't have to do it manually. But I'm thinking about like going to Stripe or something where I don't have to worry about the tax or the fees and stuff. But that like changing like that subscriptions is a pain in the ass. Any of y'all heard what's happening in Mexico? Yeah, it's 9 a.m. Let's see what happens. But like, I think it's best to wait until like 9:30 and after, guys. Yeah, like I wonder what the president of Mexico is going to do, because if she don't like show military action, it kind of shows like she's getting paid. Like she's actually getting paid from the cartel. Like you should have the whole military out there killing these dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like Like what's going on? You just don't let them kidnap people and all of that shit, and then it's like you go into hiding. Like obviously, I think the U.S. and Mexico had a plan to go after them, but yeah, like if we don't see like any sort of action with her, and sometimes it's regime changes too when it comes to that. You know what I mean? Like we look at they're gonna just put somebody at the head of it that probably just take orders from the government. Like it's gonna be pretty crazy. My friend was in a fishing trip and was stuck in a marina for 18 hours waiting for the opportunity to walk back to his hotel. That's crazy. They already have a new leader. Yeah, I saw a video. I just didn't know how true it was. Yeah, some people who can't get on the airport, like they can't, yeah, fly back home. That shit is crazy. Imagine that shit. I think it happened to a friend of mine that he went to Brazil. I think it was Brazil or I forgot what country it was, but like there's actually gangs like in certain areas where they out there looking like military. You gotta like check in and shit where you go to certain places. I was like, hell no, dude. But yeah, that's crazy. But I don't think it won't, even if there's a military action in Mexico, I don't think the markets would care about that because it's more about drugs and like I don't think the markets would care. But it should be good for like let me see what Lockheed is doing. Like those military stocks. Anybody is invested in into like is it Lockheed? I believe it's like yeah, like anybody's invested in those like military stocks. Yeah, as you can see here, yeah, like a lot of military action is doing really well. Yeah. You could already see like this shit is just like stupid, bro.
They were told what we were told, that if the Supreme Court was to strike down IEPA, the administration would come back using other provisions to enact their trading policies. So a lot of these trading partners don't really think a lot has changed. I think there's going to be some key countries to focus on. Places like the United Kingdom, places like Australia, where their deal was under 15%, which is under the current rate right now the president has enacted using Section 122. What happens with those trade deals? And of course, with the European Union, it sounds like they're just seeking some clarity right now. And then the big one is going to be China. Will this change at
Yeah, what is it? RTX.
check-in? They kind of continues to
RTX.
they continue to
Yeah, like it's no coincidence. The USD peso, I wouldn't
reaction to this, especially Republicans who are facing a midterm in 3.5 months. What percent of Republican you ask? So the weekend we did hear from
like the peso was good when tensions is escalating, but yeah, it depends on what happens with tariffs. I think that would be the indicator. Yeah, I'm still holding AUD JPY. Probably let's see what happens tomorrow for Australia's inflation. That would most likely determine what I'll do with that. Yeah, like I don't know. I don't think the peso would take a huge hit from this, but this is a like a very volatile pair. But I don't think this would impact it as much.
surveillance. Corporate America reacts to President Trump's new tariffs. We're going to speak with the CEOs of Mazda North America and Freeport McMoran. Now, elsewhere,
That's fine, Tarjan. You can do that. Yeah, that's no problem. It don't matter. And I probably look at gold buys if it breaks structure. I'm just thinking that equities probably would push higher for the session. Hey guys, don't get caught with a person trying to pretend that they're me. Like if you message me on Discord, I'll send you a voice note, so at least you know it's me, and I won't be asking for Bitcoin. I don't do that. Everything is through WAP. But if you only could pay through Bitcoin, then you have to ask me first, and then I would send you like the links for that through Coinbase. So whatever else that they're using is not me. So please don't fall for it.
Yeah, right. I know it's unpleasant conditions out there, but it is cooling. It does look like a snow globe. What about for the week to come?
Yeah, at least I don't have to deal with the snow. No, at least I don't have to deal with the snow. That's crazy. It's fucking freezing outside. Sorry for my language, guys. It's freezing. It gets me mad. It feels like I'm back in New York, and I bet in Florida it's probably like 80 degrees over there. All right, Mexico must step up their effort on cartels and trust. Trump is wild. All right, Trump. Yeah, Trump is still speaking, but tomorrow he has a uh what's the thing? In the 40s this morning in Central Florida. Yeah, that's crazy. What is his roll call? I know tomorrow he has a State of the Union, but like I said, I don't. All right, so he's at the Oval Office policy meeting and executive time, but I don't think tomorrow is going to be like. I think it's just like he's just going to be bragging a lot, but he may talk about what is the next like the further plans of what they're going to do with tariffs. I think he could possibly do that. So I could see that, you know, but we could definitely see what like well, I don't know what time he's going to speak though, but we could definitely see that. Yeah, New York. I don't know. I would like to probably go back one day for like a week. I would like to go to I miss like Times Square. I wish I was able to like travel more, like just experience New York more.
So where does Trump turn to next?
Yeah, we got about 20 minutes. See what happens with NYSC guys. And again, if you don't want to take a trade, totally fine. You don't have to. I don't think they um like they missed their godparents, but I don't think they like miss it like that. They missed Miami. They missed Miami though. They like Miami. They like Florida more in general. I think now they'll probably love New York, like the older they got, but they don't really remember it as much. But they do like the snow, but they miss more Miami. So I know like next year I'm gonna get a home, but I just don't know where yet. Like I do like the Carolinas, but I also am thinking about Florida, but probably just get two. Yeah, because I'm like on the verge, like we're definitely on the verge of like homeschooling. Yeah, I was thinking about Riley. I like Riley, that area, Riley. I do like where I'm at too. Like the only reason why I didn't want like to go in Charlotte is because the school system sucks. But out here, Rock Hill, the school systems are really good. But I'm about to just do homeschooling. Yeah, they don't learn shit. don't know anything, you know? So I'd rather just do a lot of people out here do homeschooling. So I'm about to do that. And if I do that, then I don't mind just going to Charlotte. Yeah, so I was like the only reason, but I think I like Florida. I really do. I want to go back there, but just more of a friendly area. Probably like Fort Lauderdale. You know, I was thinking that area. Yeah. Yeah, the food out here really not all that. That's what I miss about New York more. Yeah, Florida is a lot better when it comes to that. Like the homes are nice. You know, I'm just trying not to get caught up with it because it's really nice. It's like where I'm at too, but you want to pay like $800,000 and then you have a community pool, you know, like so it's like damn, you pay more for like the community.
Coming up, the president hikes.
I know yesterday we had a bunch of headlines too when it came to about like the hot
Stay with us on our best.
Goldman Sachs forecast. That was the conversation I was having with my wife. I was like, damn, we could have a big ass mansion, but I feel like it's too good to be true. Like you probably like what like 3 hours away from the city. It's like a new development. There's like no grocery stores, no nothing around, you know. That's why I feel, but it could be wrong. Hedge funds sell global stocks at the fastest pace. They bullish on. All right. City says bullish on stocks. Mid quarter four. Yeah. Overnight news. Yeah. Really. Really nothing happened. I still like the idea of strong, like Nasdaq to still push higher, especially what we got with Nvidia earnings is this week too. So I can't really see how Nvidia does extremely poor. I can't really see it. I think Nvidia is going to have like really good growth. The VIX is dropping. Yeah. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so we could get that. I could be wrong, and we could see equity spike higher, but I think we're gonna probably see equities dropping. That's what I like too, because I could see like Nasdaq pushing lower for like today, tomorrow. If we do get a sell off, and then start looking for buys leading on to that Wednesday, especially if we get a buy for if yeah if you could catch a buy like tonight or like tomorrow and then leading that buy on Nasdaq for like Wednesday. Hopefully the earnings come out stronger, but I think like you could catch a really good reaction. Yeah, so you guys can see. So tomorrow we got consumer confidence at State of the Union, Apple shareholder meeting, and on Wednesday that's Nvidia jobless claims. Yeah, so this week is not really that crazy, that hectic. Yeah, just watch gold, guys.
And a U.S. backed raid using heavy weapons and rockets. The strike triggered nationwide road blockages, shootings, and
These dudes got rocket launchers. Crazy.
inflation while urging Americans in affected areas to shelter in place. Private markets flashing stress. Bain says private equity is in its worst dry spell since 2008, with $3.8 trillion in unsold assets and payouts near 16-year lows. Now, elsewhere in private credit, Blue Owl has frozen a $1.6 billion private credit fund and is selling assets to meet redemptions. That has rattled a $1.8 trillion market and revived liquidity fears. The European Parliament is set to freeze ratification of its U.S. trade deal. The bloc demanding clarity after President Trump's new 15% tariff. The move follows a Supreme Court ruling limiting his emergency powers. EU leaders say approval can't move forward amid growing trade uncertainty. Let's stay on tariffs, and I'm joined now by Missouri Representative Jason Smith, who also serves as the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee.
Yeah, like I can't see like a strong risk on market because this does cause uncertainty, right? Like the only way I could see equities liking this as a whole, like the index, is because this collects like this is going back to collecting more revenue for the United States. But I can't see the markets looking at that now, like because I can't see them looking at that as a positive now. So I like the idea of a risk off market. Let's see if we get gold to push higher. Like, is a possibility equities might be range bound, but if we could get sells, I would say that would be the better bet. But just be aware of the possibility that it could spike higher, hit resistance, then drop. So just be aware of that possibility, you know. Just when it comes to gold, right? So I would say focus on this area of support. If we break below this 30-minute support, it's just a higher chance that we could see like a deeper retracement towards 5110. But again, if you guys are everybody trades different. So if you don't see no edge, you want to sit in your hands. I don't think that's nothing wrong with that. Tomorrow should be a lot better. Hopefully, AED inflation, we could get an easy edge with that. But the best opportunity, like a no-brainer, is what happens next. Like if we get retaliation from other countries, or we actually see that the government shuts down the tariffs, like really shuts it down, right? And there's nothing Trump could do, or if we have to give back refunds, like refunds going back, I think that should be it's a hit or miss. I think the index itself should push lower, but individual companies should do well, right? But this should also push gold lower if we do get de-escalations of tariffs. Iran is a big topic. If we get de-escalations, or if we see that more military action, like stuff like that is like no-brainer trades. But as of right now, it's just focusing on price action, and let's see if we get risk sentiment that goes in our favor.
Revenues bring down the deficit. There is another matter to this, though, and it can easily, and many people have framed this as simply a consumer price hike. Representative Smith, do you expect that all of the Republicans in Congress will be behind this? They were just 3.5 months away from a midterm election where affordability is on the table.
I think it's very important to understand trade policy just as a whole of where it is with all Americans, but also all members of Congress. It's a deeply divided issue, whether you're Republican or whether you're
Democrat. Give me a sec, guys. 1 second.
Democrats that agree with Republicans and Republicans agree with Democrats on various aspects of whether they're pro-tariffs or they're anti-tariffs. So if something moves forward from a legislative perspective, it will have to be bipartisan because it is such a bipartisan division when it comes to those different items. But let's look at what tariffs have done. We have the lowest trade deficits since 2009. And when you refund tariffs, you're refunding money to corporations that benefit by purchasing products outside of the United States. Who benefited from tariffs was the U.S. manufacturers and U.S. farmers.
So to be clear, are you and your colleagues working on legislation right now to codify tariffs?
We've been working on trade legislation throughout my 3 years as chairman of the Ways and Means. If you just look at most recently in the last month, we reinstituted and extended the Haiti and the AGOA trade preferences program. So we're in the middle of all the different trading aspects. If you look at the big beautiful bill, we addressed de minimis when it came to China and other packages coming in the United States. We're going to continue to do so.
Tariffs or not, the debt is still exploding because, in large part, the one big beautiful bill, Representative Smith. Are we done cutting the deficit? Is this it for now?
We can't be done cutting the deficit. When you look at a national security threat, it's definitely our fiscal house. When you're looking at approaching $40 trillion in national debt, we have to be looking at ways to trim the budget 24/7.
So are you then, with all of this, disappointed in a lot of your Republican colleagues? There have been some, Senator Paul, Representative Bacon, who publicly applauded the Supreme Court ruling. Representative Smith, it doesn't seem like there's cohesion at this moment.
Well, Senator Paul didn't vote for the big beautiful bill either. So there's always division within the Republican Party. But guess what? There's bigger division in the Democrat Party because Hakeem Jeffries is not even the minority leader of the House. His liberal base affects all of his policies, his decisions. That's why we're in a government shutdown right now with the Department of Homeland Security and why they're not funding TSA agents in the airport, why they're not funding FEMA, and why they're not funding the U.S. Coast Guard.
Yeah, there's a lot of backlash this weekend about a brief decision to shut down TSA pre-check. Chairman Smith, where do we stand on funding the Department of Homeland Security? Is there any movement?
There has been zero movement from what I have seen. The Democrats are demanding unrealistic expectations and solutions. They're the ones who shut down government. They need to come back to the table and make sure those TSA agents, the Coast Guard, the Secret Service, FEMA, that they have paychecks.
There still has been just mass outrage about what's happening with immigration and with ICE, Representative Smith. Where would anyone budge on this? How does it come to a solution?
Well, what doesn't make sense is that they say they want to defund ICE, but guess what? ICE was funded for 4 years in the one big beautiful bill. So by shutting down the Department of Homeland Security budget, that does not affect funding of ICE. ICE is continuing to be funded because we did it for 4 years. So it is absolutely only politics of why the Democrats are shutting down government. They say that they're doing to defund ICE, but they know that they're not defunding ICE by shutting down Department of Homeland.
Some of the polls, though, have moved in the wrong direction for this administration, be it on things the president ran on immigration, on this economy, on affordability. Again, 3.5 months away from the midterms. Is this an administration and a party, a GOP, that risks losing control of the narrative?
Anyone can find a poll that favors their narrative. There's no question about it. What I will say is I was back home in my congressional district all last week, traveling throughout my 28 counties, and people were very supportive of the president's immigration policies and securing the border. And the fact that 3 million people illegals have been deported or voluntarily left.
I still think some of the images coming out have shocked people. But all this said, Representative Smith, there are a lot of issues that this administration now needs to tackle, especially in light of Friday's ruling. What are you expecting for the President's State of the Union address tomorrow?
I think the president's going to highlight what he's done in his first year in office, which I believe what President Trump has done in his first year of office is more than what most presidents do in 8 years. When you look at securing the border, which we just discussed, creating the largest tax cut in U.S. history and fulfilling his campaign promises of no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, tax relief for seniors, increasing the child tax credit, creating the Trump investment accounts, making 100% expensing of new factories. You've seen more than $10 trillion of investment come back into the United States. We have the lowest interest rate in 5 years, the lowest gas prices in 5 years. And guess what? The murder rate in the United States is the lowest since 1900. These are huge successes. But when you look on the foreign stage, the president has eliminated 8 different conflicts. So I think that's a lot of success that some presidents would be begging for.
Although there might be another conflict brewing with Iran, or at least an escalation, which also might undo some of the work in gas and oil prices. Representative Smith, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you for joining us. Representative Jason Smith, Chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee. Coming up in the next hour, we're going to have more on corporate impact of trade uncertainty. We'll be speaking with 2 CEOs of Mazda North America and Freeport McMoran. But a quick check on your futures this morning, because there are some nerves playing out. We're down about 0.25% for the S&P. The NASDAQ falls 0.4%. Well, Russell 2000 futures, it is the small caps that are underperforming, down 0.5%. More to come. You're watching Bloomberg Open Interest.
Now, what would you say when you look at your career that the pivotal moment was actually that meeting with Robert De Niro? It took him 4 years to convince you to open a restaurant near him. You eventually did, and that started a partnership that has lasted through the decade.
You know, I met him 1988 after my first lessons opened. He asked me to come to open lesson in New York, and beginning I didn't know what he did there.
You didn't know he was an actor?
No, I don't know what he doing, because I never watched the movies. You know, I was traveling the business, but of course after people, hey, no, so you must know him, and then I understand.
How is he as a partner?
He's for me and a great partner. He understands to my concept. He supports me 100%. But he's a very smart people. Sometimes so strange idea, but it's good idea. So example, Noble Hotels idea come from him. He said, hey, Noble, so we have a lot of new restaurants coming in somebody's hotel. For him, doesn't make any sense. Then we start to do Hotel de Las Vegas 11 years ago. Now it's a big success. So next step is the residence.
Key investors, top executives, global innovators. Join me for in-depth conversations with the biggest newsmakers on the day's top stories. Insight with Haslinda Amin, only on Bloomberg.
Join me each week on Wall Street Week for stories of capitalism from business, markets, economics, tech, and climate. More than what you need to know, it's what you need to think about.
Moments away from the start of trading, you are watching Bloomberg Open Interest. I'm Danny Berger. Matt Miller is off today. It is a snow day. We're down 0.2% for the S&P 500. The NASDAQ 100, that underperforms, down 0.4%. The Russell 2000, that also underperforms. A lot of this is based on the uncertainty over the weekend of ramping up of tariffs from 10 to 15%, which is the highest amount that you can do in Section 122 tariffs. Here, we have a construction group, ConExpo. I have to say, I am so impressed about both the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ. Look, it is a full crowd, and it is a snow day. These people had to trudge through mountains of blizzards. So well done to you. It is the Association of African American Financial Advisors ringing the bell down at the NASDAQ. So congratulations on multiple fronts. Let's get to your stocks to watch this morning. Look at what Novo Nordisk is doing this morning. This is the ADRs, down more than 15%. Its next generation obesity shot delivered less weight loss than Eli Lilly's rival in a head-to-head. So you can see Eli Lilly is ramping up off the back of that. Merck down slightly, not a lot of action. It is splitting its business into two units, a cancer drug unit and a specialty non-cancer drug unit. We're also keeping an eye on the majority of stocks this morning. Again, it is this uncertainty. You can see a lot of the consumer companies gap down 2.5% because now we have across the board 15% tariffs on U.S. imports. The European Union is poised to freeze the ratification process of its trade deal with the U.S. following that Supreme Court decision on so-called reciprocal tariffs. Let's bring in Bernstein Private Wealth Chief Investment Officer Alex Chaloff on all of this. Alex, what has changed for you in your 2026 outlook, given Friday's ruling by the Supreme Court and the tariffs announced by this president over the weekend?
I think uncertainty is the new word, Danny. I think chaos would be an extreme, but certainly uncertainty is something that we have to live with, where we and others had planned out for a specific set of tariffs and the ensuing.
All right, guys. So at 9, so we see the spikes higher. VIX is actually lower, right? Gold is breaking above structure. Just be cautious, right? Because we are seeing a risk on market. We're not seeing market fear at the moment. Like this could be a fake out. It could be. Like if you entered like US 30, I think like you could take it profits at that resistance, right? Or at least break even. So this was what we was expecting, was to see equity spike higher. When it comes to gold, sometimes gold could be the first movers where gold could continuously rise and then the other markets, right, will follow afterwards. But usually if we're seeing safe havens, yeah, fake out. Yeah. I said it earlier, like a fake out. Like we could see equity spike. Well, I have the lines there, so it shows you, right? But I can't obviously predict how far it will go. But the bullish reaction was possibly first. But now when it comes to sells, right, we have to let price action prove to us. But for the sells, we need to see a risk off market. We have to see the yen, the Swiss pushing higher. We also have to see the VIX pushing higher. And then we could see equities breaking support. Gold is pushing higher. So that would give you the confidence to take sells. If equities right now just drop lower and none of those other indicators are happening, you have to be a little more patient because like you could be stuck in a possibility of a fake out. Like it's like trying to get you to catch sells and then equities could spike up. Right. So this is why I meant it was like the arrows are there. Hopefully you can see it, David. But yeah, this was the first reaction. Now let's see if it's going to be like what happened last week, where it took about an hour and then we saw the true direction like around 10:30, 10:45. We actually see the bearish price action. Because when it comes to let me see, any country that wants to play games with Supreme Court decision will be met with a much higher tariff or worse. This dude is diabolical, bro. Like, I think this is bias for gold, bro. Like, he is diabolical, bro. Like, wow. Holy crap. So, how could this should be bad for Europe? This should be bad. He threatens high tariffs. Like this should be bullish for gold. God, it should be. I don't see no other reason for it not to be a risk off market. He's diabolical. That's crazy. He's funny as hell. Yeah, if you guys sign up for the VIP, I have to manually put you over. So the gold buys is playing out. Okay, guys. Now let's see if we get the VIX to push higher now. And let's see if we could get that risk off market to flow. All right. If you sign up for the VIP, let me know because I'll manually give you the VIP access. Okay. Just let me know that you signed up and I cancel the previous membership that you have so you don't get charged twice. So just try to be in communication with me. That's all. I don't bite. You guys are in gold? That's crazy. He's diabolical, bro. Like, that's just crazy. He's Anybody want to play with the courts? Yeah, fuck your country. Like 150% tariffs. It's like, yo, this is the same playbook from last year. Like the same playbook. Like to me, that's crazy. Like we still don't have a risk off market yet. Like we don't have it yet. So it's proof that he said it, you know. So you see, we don't have a risk off market yet. You know, like again, like I could see the markets like because the context now, right, is that it increases revenue for the US. This is good for the bond markets too, the treasury markets, because now we're in a position to pay back the debt. But the trade uncertainty is the issue. Usually when he threatens a particular country, it says like, well, I'm gonna put this amount of tariffs on you. That's been more the mover. You know what I'm saying? That's been the mover. You know, like that really has been the mover. But yeah, VIX is still lower. So like, yeah, we don't have it yet. We have to see the market shift, and then we'll get that edge for it. When it comes to the stock market itself, is what I mean. You have to not like because some people like to take high risk sells. You know, like they would just be entering sales now. But this is like is a guessing game when you do that. It's high, is very big reward, but it's high risk. But I do expect equities to turn around, but I think it's just going to take a little longer. Give me a sec, guys. Let me just take my dog downstairs real quick, and I'll be right back. Just watch the markets. All right. Remember what I said about the risk off market to follow. Wait to see the VIX start pushing higher. I could put the screen like wide so you can see the VIX too, but I don't know if y'all could like see it clearly. But I just do it out so y'all can see the VIX.
So fantastic. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully you're staying warm and snow-free wherever you are in the world. Alex Chaloff of Bernstein Private Wealth. Let's get a check on your equity markets this morning. 8 minutes into your trading day. We are just barely putting in gains, but that's good news because we ended the week higher last week. Maybe we can do it again this week. Volumes are probably off. A lot of people not at their desks this morning. We are going to be getting NVIDIA earnings this week. That is the other big thing to put in the blender, as Alex so wonderfully put it, of risks concerning us. So NVIDIA shares are up 1.6%. Eli Lilly also putting in strong gains after a Novo Nordisk trial, a head-to-head trial, did not have as strong as results from Eli Lilly. On the downside, also has some tech companies in here too. Microsoft is down, Amazon is down, Tesla too, and Palantir off 5%, as is Netflix, concerned over the DOJ looking into that deal with Warner Brothers Discovery. Let's look at how the sectors are doing this morning. A pretty even split between gainers and losers. Energy is doing well. There's a Supreme Court will hear a case on oil giants when it comes to climate issues. We'll get more details on that for you, but energy stocks surging this morning. We're up by 1%. Healthcare, utilities, real estate. So even though it's a positive day, it's a lot of the safety sectors that seem to be doing better. Consumer discretionary at the bottom of the pile with those tariff concerns. 10% becomes 15% in Section 122 tariffs. Coming up, I mentioned it, we're going to discuss Novo Nordisk's newest obesity drug with the firm's chief scientific officer. Stay with us for that interview. Coming up next on Open Interest.
Opportunities don't stop when the market day ends. So neither do we. Schwab gives you round-the-clock access to over 1,100 of the most popular stocks and ETFs, plus a wide variety of futures markets. All with 24-hour support from trading specialists who understand the ins and outs of 24-hour trading. No matter the hour, you can trade brilliantly with Schwab.
All sensitive fresh. It's a game changer for me and my family.
All has a detergent that's gentle on skin and leaves our laundry smelling greasy.
All sensitive fresh. With a hypoallergenic scent my family loves. Any pizza with any toppings for just $9.99 is Domino's best deal ever. Translation for basketball fans, it's like the GOAT of pizza deals. It's like down the baseline, through traffic, 360, double clutch reverse, slam. Do I need to go on? No. Ev presenta Melissa.
Doctor, what day is it?
Melissa, big show is tonight. It's in Spanish. How is your Espanol?
Adios, soy un baño. Soy un baño.
You have a lot of work to do. You need juicy lips so you can utter those arms.
Sombrero.
Yes. You're ready.
Hi, tax refunds expected to be among the biggest in history. Max your tax refund at Milton Rubin Chevrolet. We're doubling refunds. A $4,000 refund becomes up to $8,000. You heard right. There's only one way to drive, and it's drive, baby. Save big on new Silverado 1500s. Buy now, $10,000 off, and we'll double your tax refund at Milton Rubin Chevrolet.
WireBaby.com. Click, click.
Ser padre de una mascota nos recuerda que somos humanos. Es normal. A veces nos sentimos culpables, aun cuando sabemos que es por su propio bien. Ojalá todo fuera tan fácil como salir a pasear. Por eso cada vez más personas confían en Hills, con fórmulas científicamente comprobadas para darles más amor del humanamente posible. Como humanos tenemos límites, pero existe Hills. La ciencia lo hace por ti.
Waiting for the break of day.
Bloomberg surveillance. We're talking about it.
Time now for some top calls. The analyst action that we are following. First up, Jefferies cuts deer to sell, saying the stock.
All right, guys. Yep, VIX back above 20. We got NASDAQ giving us that reaction. You can see the S&P is giving us that spike lower. So for those, like, S&P is like really easier to manage. Gold is already pushed higher. So this is the reaction from those escalations, right? Like the hardest part right now should be you deciding when to take profit. So gold was the bigger mover, right? I would like to see these type of reactions, right? Like I would like a US 30 was a really good retest, right? So that played out to the T. It's high risk. Now let's see if we could get that downside to continue, you know? So let's see if the risk market flows. That's what we're going to focus on. Like right here, we can see that we want to see AUD, NZD pushing lower. CAD, we don't have to really worry about because if oil is spiking higher, that should increase the strength of CAD. But we need to see the yen, the Swiss push higher for the session. Let's see if we could get that. If we do, that could be like good for like GJ sales as well. You know, we could like GJ playing out really well. If we get a stronger yen, that could most likely help that sell scalp. You know, we could see that play out too. So now we just have to see if this risk off market continues. All right, guys. One sec. Got to get the second dog.
True weight loss potential of CagriSema. It is a very powerful combination of two molecules. We need to have what we call a bespoke titration algorithms to really allow patients to titrate the very powerful treatment in the way that they prefer. We could see from the first study that that could be further optimized. In this setting, we could not manage to implement those learnings in what we call redefined form, which is the study that we discussed today. So the jury is still out of what can CagriSema actually achieve. In the study that read out today, we saw 23% weight loss with CagriSema. That is actually very substantial. And it is among the best weight losses that we've seen also amongst drugs in the market.
Right. Of course, just sort of the sore point in that, if I can jump in, Martin, is just the comparison to Lilly. It will forever be there. So what is the plan then to catch up with them?
Yeah, exactly. So first of all, the 23% weight loss that we saw with CagriSema is in line with what we've previously seen. The 25%, which we saw with the comparator drug, is actually the best data that has been seen so far in similar trials, which is a little bit surprising, but it stands alone in terms of that 25%. But we've also taken a lot of learnings in terms of how we can improve the titration for CagriSema. We've implemented those learnings in a study that's currently ongoing. That study is called Redefine 11. And we've guided for the last year that only when we see those data do we know the full weight loss potential of CagriSema. Furthermore, we are initiating during this year phase 3 studies to investigate even higher doses of CagriSema. And then obviously we have our very competitive pipeline starting with semaglutide that starts phase 3 this year, but also our 2 triagonists that is currently in phases 1 and 2. So I think from a short but also a longer term perspective, we have a very competitive portfolio and pipeline.
Martin, on that pipeline, you seem confident on it. Would you like to see that bolstered by some M&A by bringing in organic growth to the pipeline too?
The way we think about this is that obesity is a very complex disease, and obviously we want to have drugs that provide the biggest weight loss, but we also want to have drugs that gives as few side effects as possible. Then we also want to have drugs that provide comorbidities, and to an extent, in our current portfolio, we have all of that. We also have the best-in-class oral already on the market in the U.S., and the semaglutide offering that is starting phase 3 will have both a subcutaneous and an oral offering with what we believe will be best in class.
Why within that did you not follow Lilly with the tirzepatide and develop a GLP-1 GIP? Why not go down that route when so many other companies did?
We need to follow our philosophy when we do development. We always want to see differentiated weight loss potential or efficacy potential, but also differentiated safety and tolerability. We do believe that we will see that when we see Redefine 11 in terms of weight loss with CagriSema, but we also believe that we have that potential for amycretin, which is another version of addressing 2 biologies. So you mentioned GLP-1 GIP. Semaglutide is GLP-1 plus amylin. And then we have what we call triagonist, which is basically the next level. We do again believe that is going to be a very competitive offering individually, but specifically as a portfolio.
Okay, Martin, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us today. That's Novo Nordisk Chief Scientific Officer, Martin Holst-Long. I want to bring you some breaking news just crossing the terminal now. The EU has frozen the U.S. trade deal approval. That's over uncertainty about where things stand after this most recent Supreme Court decision. We had reported on it earlier this morning, so it is a confirmation that the EU will be freezing the confirmation process, the approval process of their.
So you see, so the EU will be freezing the trade deal approval. So this brings way more uncertainty. Good job. Any of you guys are into buys? I'm still surprised that we're not, like, equities is not tanking right now. Like, I would like to see that happen, but I think it will. But we'll give it time because we're still not seeing that risk off market yet. Yeah, the buys happen here at that breaker structure. But yeah. You're already up 35. Yeah, man, good job. Yeah, I think that this was a very, very easy play. Now it's just equities. We just need to get that risk off market. We're just not seeing that yet. But it's kind of interesting that it's not. But German 30 should be pushing lower. Like, it should cause that uncertainty, especially now. Like, if Trump tries to get retaliations on Europe, I think that will be the best bet also, to see if Euro could actually start taking a hit. If we see that threats now is a trade war between Euro and the U.S., we should see like Europe take a hit. But as of now, like, this should be pretty good. Like, we should see a risk off market. I would like to see GJ opportunities come That'd be pretty good for you guys too. But equities, we should see that push lower. Yeah, like that should be pretty easy. Now we just have to see if the continuations play out through the day. Like I'm surprised. Like Nasdaq, I could understand, but we should see like you US 30. Good job, Targent. Yeah, like I feel like Nasdaq, I can understand why it's not flushing to the downside, right? But I would expect Euro stocks to be pushing lower. Nasdaq, if we could get a better sell, right? I would rather look to the buys afterwards. You know what I mean? Like look for the buys on Nasdaq afterwards. But if the tariff situation continues to get out of hand, then we're gonna probably see a risk off market. It's probably gonna like reciprocate what happened last year from January to April. And then April and after, we just saw monetary policy. So I think this is going to be more sentiment and then after monetary policy. So hopefully that's what we get. I think the Supreme Court decision gives markets some reassurance that Trump can't go wild with. Yeah. Yeah. Like he can say threats, but it's like once he says a number, I think that would it depends, like, because if he don't have control, he don't have control. But like, who's there to stop him? You know, I wonder how that goes. You know, like how they stop him. It's like me saying you can't turn the water on in your house without asking for permission. Like you could just go in your house and just turn on the faucet of water, right? So it's like I wonder how they could effectively stop him from doing that. You know, like oh they can't pass this. It's like I could tell people to write it up and that's it. It's passed. So the people that work at these positions, they'll do it anyway. So it's like imagine you're that person where you are the ones that's dealing with the finances that you know what I'm saying? Like who does that person listen to? Obviously the one that controls your paycheck, right? So because it's like I wonder how it goes, right? It's like working at a grocery store and they're telling you you cannot charge $5 for that piece of cookie, right? And you're like, who are you to tell? Like, if people buy that cookie, you could just tell them it's $5. So how do they stop you from doing that, right? Other than get you out of that position. So like, I wonder how it works. You know, like how it works if it's actually true, or this is just a game where he's just saying all of this shit verbally, you know, and in reality, he doesn't have any pull. So I wonder how it works because it's wild to me. You know, like if y'all got to listen to the Supreme Court, you're gonna get 100% tariffs. It's like they are collecting revenue. I don't know if you guys watched the last YouTube video I did, right? Because they are collecting revenue. Um, I talked about it, but it's just more about the um. It was like it's this video here, yeah, like with the Trump, because I did talk about it, and I like they are collecting revenue. You can see where it is too, but I wonder if yeah, like I just wonder, you know, like how they could actually stop him from doing that, you know? The DOJ probes on Netflix and Warner deal. Yeah, that shit's still going on too. I thought it was crazy that the FBI wasn't it Cash Kapow? That lady that's been kidnapped for like damn near a month. He out. I mean, it's who to say like you can't enjoy yourself, right? it's kind of like people getting mad at the daughter going to a bar, knowing nobody would really do it, but it's like to say, oh, you're going to a bar where your mother's kidnapped, you must don't give a fuck. Like, I don't think it's that, but it does look bad. Where it's like you made this case national news, and y'all still don't find a woman, and then you out there getting drunk with hockey players. It just doesn't look good. But I don't think Patel cares. But it's just messed up, man. Like, like it's a good way to get him out of that position. I know they can't wait after the 3 years. He's gonna be out of there too. I'm like, and I tell you guys, they treated Michael Vick horribly when it came to them dogs. It was 10 times worse what they did to Michael Vick compared to any of the people in the Epstein files. It's like, yo, this world is crazy. It's like children, hey, we can let that slide, but dogs, nah, it's over. Like, we'll cancel you for 10 years. Like, so it's just weird how like society is. Like nobody should be paying any refund checks until these dudes are like all locked up. Like none of us pay tax. Like it should be some type of movement. I probably can't post this on YouTube now. Yeah, it's good. The VIX is pushing higher. Like now you can see the difference, right? I'm gonna show you guys the currency monitor, right? You can see like AUD, NZD, CAD is pushing lower too. You see the yen, the Swiss, right? And then right away, like now you're looking at the stock market, you can see the stock market is pushing lower, right? Like, so now we just need to see that type of continuation after 10. And let's see if we could get that to flow. So like, just remember the time. So that's what you journal it to when you get the reactions, right? When the volume kicks in, like it's always a good range like of time to pay attention to, right? And then like when a session is done, like just highlight what the markets did the whole day. And then you go back to like, oh, like, well, I didn't take a trade, but if I was focusing, how could I have taken the trade here? Like where I should have entered. Like that's how you do it. Even if you don't take a trade, like go back and go, okay, where I could have entered, where did it break structure, where I should have took profit, right? So you could visually understand the decisions as price action is going. You do that type of journaling at the end of the day. Okay. Because like an example, like what if gold right now pulls all the way back, right? Stops you out, then the next 3 hours it just rockets to the moon. And you only journaled when you entered here and you only journaled your loss, but you don't journal how it reacts throughout the rest of the day. So when you're trying to get better with holding trades, right? You just have to just stay vigilant to the markets and just be aware of any of these type of like reactions afterwards, even hours afterwards. Not just when you take a trade and then that's it. How did the markets act after? Right? So you just have to always have that visual. So that's why it's like, well, usually after 10:30, 10:45, we kind of see the true direction of the markets. So we have a window between sometimes it's 9, right? But most of the time it's like from 9:30 to about like 10:45. If we don't have a clear direction then most likely it would be like around 1 to like 2:30. You could see a direction. If normally you don't get no trades within that window, then wait until Asian session. Okay. Like you still need breaks of structure. Like yeah, I'm glad you're learning. Yeah, like that's the stuff that helps. Now we just have to get the confirms of the risk off market. But when is that going to happen? We don't know yet. Like I understand like how Nasdaq is going to be a hard sell because like tech is still dominant. So I can't see that flushing to the downside. But US 30, we got the reaction. But if we could get more downside today in the stock market, then I would say look for the buys afterwards, then look for the buys. If NASDAQ just start breaking higher, like I'm not going to be upset at that possibility of a buy because it makes sense. But the current context for right now, it does support downside. But overall, like maybe the macro fundamentals for NASDAQ is probably still extremely bullish because that makes sense. Yeah, hopefully it could be a good retest. But if you guys took profit, just be done, make a decision. If you took partials, like just be okay if you get hit at break even, it's totally fine. Now we just have to see the momentum, right? Because that's what we didn't get yet is the clear risk off momentum. We didn't get that yet. So like GJ is doing well. Let's see if GJ could continue to push lower. A target for GJ could be at 208.800. If you take that, if we could break below 208.7, then I'll say the next target is 208.5. Let's see if gold could continuously hold that. This is what gold used to do like 3-4 weeks ago, where that Sunday gold would just spike higher, and then the rest of the week gold continue to push bullish. I'm hoping we could get that this week. Like gold is just bullish the rest of the week. I don't see why not. Like even if gold does spike lower, just go back for the order block, wait for the break of resistance, take advantage of that again, unless we get a reason otherwise, right? Unless we get a reason to look for sales. But if we could take advantage of the gold buys, whatever opportunity you could get, take advantage of it. Yeah, I would like to see that too. I think this is a good week for it. Like this seems like is a really good week for it. We just have to be patient enough to capitalize on it. This seems like it's setting up for that. The way it is now, it seems like it's setting up for it. Like right now, we had durable goods that came out stronger. So good durable goods, right? I don't think that's going to really matter as much to the markets more than this tariff situation. But we should see equities push lower. We should possibly get gold to spike higher. That should be the narrative, right? That should be the narrative for the session. So don't let that mess you guys up, right? Like we should get that narrative. Like this seems like it should be a good week for gold to spike higher. And even if you like equities is moving well now, all right. Yeah, now let's see if we could get the equities to spike lower. You guys should be excited. Go get the line of booger sugar. That's what, like the whole Wolf of Wall Street. They make like all traders do that shit. Making like 100,000 is over. They partying right after that. Like I listened to Epstein talk and like listen to what he says about traders. Like it's so true. Like this is they overcomplicate uh yeah, the wick is wild, but it played out to a T. Like when you look at equities, just look at it differently. I wouldn't trade equities the same way you trade gold. Those high risk to reward sales and buys are really it. But he said like that the reason why like these hedge funds and these institutions, it seems complicated to the average person, right? Where we talk about what to look for, like everything I explained is extremely complicated to the average person. But to us, it's like easy as shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, look for sales because XYZ. When we talk about monetary policy, it's easy. They just make the terminology hard so that the average person can't succeed. These banks making billions and millions and billions of dollars a day with these type of transactions. They don't want the average person doing it. So they just make the translations hard so that not everybody could just not everybody could just go to a chart and just start making money, right? Oh, you want to make money? Get a person that could trade it for you at one of these hedge funds. It's like, bro, you could do this shit yourself. This is all that they do. The only difference is that they just have the capital to hold drawdown. You know what I'm saying? Like they have billions of dollars in revenue. So if the stock market drop, right, they just in drawdown. That's all that it is. They have infinite dollars. So they're not blowing their accounts. They're holding because they know the stock market is going to rise again. Make sense, guys? So that's the reason why, because they know the stock market is going to rise again. So they just ideally look for more profit. I mean, 2,500 is crazy, bro. Like in 15 minutes, like in a day, that's like amazing. But you're always going to deal with that struggle of like holding more, like getting more. The context is different now. So that's the only reason why, Like I could understand like any other day, like you could take 2,500 and then the trade would just completely reverse. Then you're like, damn, I should have took 2,500. Right now, this probably would have been about 10 grand. So I can understand, you're like, damn, like I should have held. Like the context supports holding. But tomorrow, maybe the context won't support holding the trade. But the goal is just to win at the end of the day. And you're going to be able to figure that out through time. Like you're going to figure it out. The context is always different though. So don't say like, well, I'm going to take my next trade and I'm going to hold it. Like you don't know that that next trade is going to support that bias. Make sense? So a win's a win. Like you don't want to beat yourself up over wins. But yeah, like I understand this could turn to easily probably be like 50 grand. You're like, yeah, easy said when it could have been 50,000. Like, probably. Like you're like, fuck. Like the broker would have been mad at me. I would have got an email saying that I'm inside trading. They can't give me my withdrawal. But good job, dude. That's why I just recommend that you guys just gotta stick to it. Like it don't matter how long it takes, just stick to it. You're gonna be able to figure it out. Just stick, just stay. If it takes you 2 months, somebody else took a week, but it's taking you more time, just take the time to learn to get better. You're gonna figure it out. Like, don't just say like, "Oh, let me give it a break," because during that break, you probably could have figured it out, and you probably would have changed everything of yourself as a trader. You know. But yeah, like now, I'm gonna add you in it. But like, this is So like, because now if you have trade ideas that you want to do, like you could follow this concept, right? And also you could talk about like pre-trade, post-trade, right? News trade, psychology behind the trade. So I want you to follow this setup. Like, so you could say, like, where was I wrong? You could be like, I closed it too early, right? So then now you can have this setup, and you could use like any what type of like trading journals you guys use? Like Notion is good. I wasn't really such a OCD neat freak. I never really was. But if you are very clean, like you could use Notion. You could also use those trading journals, whatever those shits are, just to have like just to do this. You're gonna get to a point where you don't need it. You know what I'm saying? Like it may look like I don't need it, but I like this group is my journal. You know what I'm saying? But if you guys don't have it, I recommend just doing it. And then eventually you'll get to a point where everything could be in your head. So but just take the effort, and like Wednesday we'll talk about what things you want to get better at for this week and have a plan structured. I'll work on that today. Anybody else into the US 30, S&P? Like NASDAQ, it's very tough, man. I get it. I get it how not to trust NASDAQ. At least gold is good, So I would say like you see UJ, well, GJ played out, right? So we hit that area to a T. All it did, order block, break a structure, the risk off market strengthens the yen. Now we hit that zone. Now it's like you could break even, right? And then now let's see if you could get additional, right? If we could at least hit that 108.5. But if we could break that support, it could play out. Now that's idea. Gold broke structure. So this is a really good play. Yeah, Warren Buffett, we don't have to be smarter than the rest. We have to be more disciplined than the rest. Yeah, because yeah, we think that people that's in this space is extremely smart, right? Is just that they have a routine that they follow so that the probabilities is more stacked on their side. And then they just use risk management. It's not about being a genius. You can read all the books, you could go through all the courses. There's people that have done that and they still suck. And there's somebody else is just a complete retard, right? Like if you look at them, sorry, I'll take that back. But there's somebody that you're like, damn, I am way smarter than this person. And it's like, how come I'm not doing as well? Right. It's just about applying the wisdom and just applying what you already know. You just have to apply it. and then do it longer. That's all that it is. And then have risk management, use proper risk management, because it doesn't matter how successful you trade, you are doomed to blow your account because you're over leveraging. So eventually you're going to take a loss. That's just a part of the game, right? But are you able to survive through the losses? If you could survive through the losses, right, the probability of upside is going to succeed more than the losses. So you have to always remember that long term. Like you could take one loss today, but for the rest of the year, you're going to be more profitable than your losses if you use proper risk management, because it's very hard to be wrong 100% of the time. Sometimes, like if you use proper risk management, you could have, like, you could take 5 trades in a week, you could lose 3 and win 2. And yeah, it kind of looked like you suck, but those 2 wins could be massive and your losses is to a minimum because you're using proper risk management. So that's why, like, it's important to like stick that in your brain. Don't think about like, oh, I got $100 and I need to turn this to 500 right now. Like that's gonna come. You're gonna be able to do that. But if you can't manage 100, you can't manage 1,000. If you can't manage 1,000, you can't manage 10,000. You're gonna treat it all the same way. So it's not about money. All right, guys. But you caught the spike. You caught the upside on Nas, and it took profit. Like if you did, that's fine. It's a technical trade. It was expected, right? But at least you could just see like if it does break lower, like you could still take it. But I don't like the fact that, like, this is what I meant, like how Nasdaq, look how slow that is compared to S&P and the Dow Jones, right? So that's what I mean. It's like the buyers for tech is just massive. Like I'm not a fan of the sell off, but when it comes to buying back the stock market, Nasdaq is the opportunity. We understand US 30 because we know that United Healthcare is taking a hit. Yeah, like stuff like that is going to take a hit. Yeah, like Nasdaq is the problem, is because of tech, and it's okay, But now it's like you when the opportunities come, you're going to be able to capitalize on it, But it just depends on when. But gold was easy, GJ was easy, US 30, S&P is because it does. S&P is moving a lot better because it's not tech, it's not a lot of tech in the S&P, and it does do the opposite of the VIX. So usually when the VIX is up, S&P is pushing lower. So it's just that correlation. It is a lot easier to manage S&P than it is US 30 and Nasdaq. But good job, guys. Like there's no right or wrong answers. Remember what I said about the journaling, right? And again, if you join the private group, just the VIP, just let me know so I could cancel your subscription, the old one, and then I could actually give you guys the access to the new one. All right, guys. So I'll end it here and I'll upload it's going to be a long video. So I'll have to, yeah, I'm going to switch you, Fatima, what do you want me to say again? I don't know what part. Oh yeah, if you join the VIP, just let me know so that I could cancel your previous subscription, and then I'm gonna switch you over to the VIP so you could get that. You could see the tabs in the Discord. Yeah, so just let me know when you do it. All right, guys, and I'm gonna upload this on YouTube, so like, it's a longer file, so I can't just send it straight to Discord. All right, guys.